First of all, I'm going to say thank you to Beth for organizing all of this and for wanting to participate in Circular City Week. This is the third year in a row, and we have more than 90 events this year. And as I was just telling everyone behind the crew, that we actually have 200 speakers and at the moment more than 5,000 participants for the whole week. This is very exciting. Circular City Week is, of course, also sponsored by some, because else Circular City Week wouldn't be here. So I have to make a small thank you, or big thank you, I guess, to ABB, Dell, ING, Freshfield, NYSERDA, and Arup, because without them, we wouldn't have any Circular City Week, even though me and my colleagues are really working on this. Well, I think that's it, and then take it away, Beth.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Camilla, and welcome everyone. You're all here because you care about the environment, and you know that circular economy solutions are essential to combating the climate crisis. Those of you who are circular economy and other clean tech innovators and entrepreneurs are doing the most important work. We want to hear from you. So stick around to learn about how Cleantech Open is accelerating startups in this space and enabling them to not only commercialize more quickly, but also giving them the tools and the contacts to have the confidence that they're doing it right. We'll hear from several Cleantech Open alumni with circular economy solutions. And if you're an emerging clean tech, climate tech, or sustainability entrepreneur, we want to hear from you. You're welcome to provide a 1-minute pitch toward the end of today's program. So please note, this is not an audition. We just want to get to know you a bit and learn what you're working on. We will call your name when it's time for you to pitch. Make sure to have a timer ready. If you're interested in giving a 1-minute pitch, please put your name in the chat along with your company name and location. Before we get into it, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce my colleagues, Tally Kane and Katie West. Tally is our interim program manager. Tally, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
Thank you, Tally, for all that you're doing. And Katie, do you want to say hi, Katie?
Hello, nice to meet you all.
Thanks, Katie. And as some of you know, I am Beth Zonis, Director of Cleantech Open Northeast. So are you ready? Let's get started. I'm going to share my slides. So we'll do that right here. Okay. So as you know, we are focused on combating climate change, growing the green economy, and improving environmental justice through innovation and entrepreneurship. That's what Cleantech Open is about. It's an annual accelerator that runs May to October with the core programming June to August. Cleantech Open is a national program with multiple regions. It's the oldest and largest accelerator for clean tech startups. We empower entrepreneurs. It's like a mini MBA. We expect 40 to 50 startups this year in the Northeast and about 100 nationwide. In the Northeast, we're run by NECEC, the Northeast Clean Energy Council. NECEC works on clean energy policy, market development, and innovation to make this region the best place to do business in our sector. Think of NECEC as a green carpet for clean tech startups and much more. So, as a nonprofit, we don't take equity in the startups that go through the program. We are very grateful to our sponsors who help to subsidize what we do and support us. They also offer many benefits to our startups. You'll get to know them as you progress through the accelerator. Since this is a New York-based event, let me point out that NYSERDA is a premier sponsor. They offer many programs for our startups, as many of you know. Of course, they're particularly interested in solutions for New York State. This list represents many other opportunities for our startups, ranging from mentoring to funding to pilots and much more. We also have many in-kind sponsors offering over $300,000 worth of goods and services to the startups in our 2021 cohort. These include incubator and co-working spaces, consulting services, ranging from marketing and communications to accounting, to assistance on special projects, software packages for startups, and even financial assistance for startups participating in certain states. A requirement of Cleantech Open is that all startups must have solutions with an environmental or sustainability benefit. We typically have startups across all of these categories. So what is it? So Cleantech Open, in Cleantech Open, all of our startups get access to the online curriculum and events. These include an academy, which is what we call our boot camp that kicks off the accelerator. This year, the academy will span 3 days. This is an opportunity to be exposed to the key topics that we'll cover throughout the accelerator and to meet many of the key players. We'll also hold workshops for more personalized coaching. Everyone says that the best part is actually the mentoring. We have hundreds of dedicated and experienced volunteer mentors. And in the Northeast, we're able to match as many as 4 mentors per startup. Mentors guide the startups through the curriculum, and in many cases, they stay on and stay in touch with the startups after the program has completed. We host an Investor Connect at the end of the accelerator. This is an opportunity for startups to meet various types of investors. We also host showcases so that our startups can introduce themselves to the general public. At the end of the program in the Northeast, we have a pitch competition. So the top startups pitch publicly, and there are opportunities for you to win up to $50,000 in prizes this year. So what else is included? The curriculum consists of 10 modules and 8 deliverables. Each week during June, July, and August, you'll have a new assignment. Even if you have a business degree or business experience, creating these materials is essential to your startup. This year, we're adding an addendum to the financial modeling for our startups to calculate their greenhouse gas emissions reduction potential. And this, by the way, is a project in collaboration with NYSERDA. Some of you may have seen our impact graphic. We're very proud of our statistics. Since 2005, Cleantech Open Northeast has graduated, since this graphic, by the way, for over 450 startups and over 1,800 nationwide. The number I'd like to call your attention to is in the middle at the top here, 68%. 68% of our alumni are still in business since 2005. They're employing over 3,300 individuals. Also, in 2020, 63% of our startups had a woman founder or a person of color as a founder. In 2020, we had our largest cohort ever with 47 startups matched to almost 175 mentors. We were really busy. So what's new in 2021? There are several new things that you should know about. In addition to attracting more diverse participants, we'll be training the cohort on the value of building a diverse team, as well as on how to build a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion from the beginning. We're introducing new curriculum content around why and how to measure your greenhouse gas footprint. This is designed to give you as a startup an advantage in a world where impact measurement is increasingly important to investors, to customers, to partners, and even to employees. One of our sponsors, the Sire Foundation, is sponsoring a carbon sequestration prize this year for a company that completes the accelerator in the Northeast. That's $10,000. Altogether, we will give away $50,000 in cash prizes and over $300,000 in goods and services. So, key dates. The entire program will be virtual this year, and here are the key dates to keep in mind. If you're selected to participate in the 2021 cohort in the Northeast, you'll be invited to these events. On May 10, all of the accepted startups will introduce themselves and let the mentors know what they're working on and what mentoring they believe that they need. May 11 and 13 are mentor mixers for startups and mentors to meet prior to matching. And June 2 to 4 is the Academy. We'll run several workshops during the summer, and we'll hold our Northeast Regional Finals September 28 to 29. The Global Forum is the big event of the year where the entire cohort from across the country and Canada comes together. All events are opportunities to learn and to build your network. So in case you're looking for a brochure, a link, or another event to attend or to tell your friends about, check out our media kit. Please share this with others whom you may know. It's bit.ly/CTOMK 2021. Lots of information in there. So in case you don't know, our applications are due April 18th, and we hope that many of you will apply by our final deadline. So next, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to several of our alumni who have gone through the program. And first we'll hear from Laureen Marua of Alchemer, and then Kwaku Giamfi of Farm to Flame Energy, from Karen Calvino of Renew CO2, and Johnny Huang of Terratonics. So they've all graduated from Cleantech Open. They all have unique stories to tell about what they're working on. And so I look forward to hearing a little bit about what they're up to these days. You'll hear also about their experiences in Cleantech Open and what's next. And I suspect each of them will also have some advice for up and coming Cleantech entrepreneurs as well. So I am going to stop sharing and I will turn the floor over to Laureen. So Laureen, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. And also congratulations to those amazing diversity statistics for last year. That's actually quite impressive. So hello, everyone. My name is Laureen Maraway. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Alchemer. At Alchemer, we're making green hydrogen a reality by dramatically reducing the cost of water electrolysis. Not only that, we've already proven that we can couple this to fluctuating power input, such as renewable power sources, and do this with the goal of producing hydrogen at $1.50 per kilogram, which we foresee being able to reach by 2024. So since going through Cleantech Open, we now have demonstrated the world's largest single cell water electrolyzer of our technology called anion exchange membrane electrolysis. We are raising our first seed round, a pretty large seed round, which we're really excited about, and been meeting actually with our Cleantech Open mentors every month since ending. So as Beth said, the mentors really are super valuable. And I'm always knocking on their door, asking them for advice for whatever I need. So highly recommend this program. In case it wasn't clear, green hydrogen means no CO2 emissions in any sense of the process. Therefore, that's how we're circular. And I think it's going to take far more than one technology to truly reach our decarbonization goals. Therefore, we all need to help each other and produce some amazing technology and companies. Thank you, Beth, for giving me this platform to speak.
Absolutely. Do you have any advice for any upcoming clean tech startups?
Apply, stay involved, work hard. It's going to be a long road ahead, but it's definitely going to be worthwhile. And I think we all have the potential to change the world for the better.
Thank you. That's excellent, Laureen. So next up, we have Kwaku Giamfi of Farm to Flame Energy. Kwaku, when you're ready, just turn on your mic.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me at this Circular City event. Thank you, Beth, for reaching out. And I am the CEO and co-founder of Farm to Flame Energy. And we create generators that utilize agricultural waste and woody debris residential waste in the smokeless process at under 14 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity generation. And so we're deploying these 10 kilowatt to 200 kilowatt units across the Northeast before we go into our target market of Nigeria, a developing nation where they rely on 22 million backup diesel generators every day. They power them for over 4 hours a day. And the solution can also spread to areas who have the same problems like India. And so we are very grateful for Cleantech Open Northeast. It allowed us to get into our manufacturing facility where we started manufacturing our 10 kilowatt generator in the mid-later part of last year. And we're just finishing it now. It's very exciting. Yes, we've been in touch with some amazing mentors throughout the process, and it really led us to just a lot of grand opportunities that allow us to exercise this technology and business model that we have. I would definitely recommend going through Cleantech Open Northeast and also making sure you do all the homework that they give you, because it's really beneficial to your business and it will make you ready for the opportunities that come even in the middle of that program.
Thank you, Kwako. That was excellent. Really appreciate your comments. Next up,
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Next up, we have Karen Calvino of Renew CO2.
Hi,
Karen?
everyone. Beth, thank you so much for having me here. It was a real pleasure to be part of CTO. Our company, Renew CO2, enables other chemical companies to reuse their CO2 to make more products. So at the core of the technology is our innovation of catalysts that can convert CO2 with high energy efficiency. And that means that these companies can use CO2 in a very cost competitive way with the petrochemical processes to generate more revenue and not emit CO2 as they usually would, which enables them to meet targets for carbon neutrality that they all have pledged to meet by 2050. So what was really interesting about being part of CTO is that, as Beth was explaining, we were paired with mentors that were both very in our field and also not at all related to the chemical industry. And we had lots of assignments that were deliverables that were very different. And the mentors got a detailed look at every one of them. So we got to understand through their feedback how people in our field understood the way that we were thinking about the business, and other people that didn't really understand the field in a lot of depth, what they were hearing when we were saying the words we were saying. And that was super important to give us clarity on how we talk about this. And it really changed our business plan completely. Another thing that was really interesting is that the way we pitched was completely different at the end of the process. And when we pitched at the final event, we got connections. We got a lot of calls from investors, from potential customers, and a lot of those discussions that started at the end of CTO continue. So we still are in touch with mentors, and we're moving to a new lab. We got our first employee. We're working together with Argo National Lab, continuing to retire some of the technical risks. And we see that the startup is growing and our dream is growing. We're getting closer to a product that we can sell.
That is great to hear, Karen. Just a few short months after completing the accelerator. Good job. So thank you for your comments. Next up, we have Johnny Huang of Terratonics, who was a winner. So I just mentioned that Karen and her company were a winner in 2020, and Johnny was a winner in 2019. So Johnny, take it away. It looks like you have a slide to share. Go for it.
Thanks, Beth and Telly. Glad to be here. Always glad to be back to Cleantech Open. I'll use a few quick slides to share some. So I'm Johnny Huang, co-founder of Terratonics. A little bit about what we're doing. We try to solve the problem to power billions of IoT sensors that'll be around us for both consumer and industrial application. And most of these sensors are powered by batteries. If for billions of them, you have a lot of battery to replace. so which incur better replacement costs and better waste. So we have a solution based on the RF energy harvesting. Essentially, there's a lot of cellular, Wi-Fi, and TV signal around us. Our harvester work like a solar panel that can generate electricity from these signals to replace batteries. We have a patent technology that have very high efficiency. We developed a commercial prototype last year and working on several pilot and raising on capital. For the environmental impact, particularly, we can recover waste energy, replace battery, and enable IoT sensor for circular city application. And for Cleantech Open, it was our first one and really opened many doors for us. I remember we developed our first business plan, first pitch book. Beth, if you recall, this version is probably very different from what the first we had, right? So these are a small factor, but actually very important. Obviously, we learned a lot from the mentors. I would like to point out, because this is the Cleantech Open, we have this very unique shared objective. That's actually gave us a special inspiration, especially at the early stage when we try to build up a venture. Later on, we can go into a lot of details what we did after Cleantech Open. I think we learned all this opportunity from while at the accelerator, also from other Cleantech Open alum. We basically follow their steps. It really opened a lot of doors for us. In terms of advice, nothing really new you haven't heard of, but I would just emphasize from our own experience, whether you have an idea, a prototype, or looking at a marketing opportunity, you really want to have a rapid iteration, particularly for hardware startup. It's very important. Early on, you want to get a lot of feedback, particularly those negative feedback are very helpful, and try to be very objective. I mean, we're entrepreneur, we need to be very optimistic, but also be very realistic about what your baseline is. And the other things that always keep trying. We will get a lot of rejection from customers, potential investors. Just one example, we actually did another startup after Cleantech Open. When we first applied, we got rejected. Then when we tried again, we actually got accepted and won the first place. I mean, lastly, I mean, this is a tough journey, right? So I think at the end of the day, probably what's important is to have a meaningful experience, and you definitely get that through, Cleantech Open Accelerator. Thank you.
Wow, Johnny, I couldn't have said it better. So thank you very much. And it's great to see all the other things that you've done since Cleantech Open as well. We love to stay in touch and hear what everybody's up to. So next up, we actually have a little bit of time for something fun. And I think what would be terrific is an opportunity for us to all meet each other. We have a few minutes to do some breakout rooms and get a chance for people to meet, learn about what other folks are doing, and perhaps maybe meet somebody who could join your team in some way. So I'm going to turn it over to Tally to put everyone into rooms. We'll just do this for a few minutes, and then we'll come back, have some Q&A, and go right into some 1-minute pitches. Everyone up for that? Thumbs up. Does that sound okay? So Tally, whenever you're ready, you can put us into rooms. This will be somewhat random.
All right, folks, all of the breakout rooms are open, so you should be invited. So feel free to join your rooms.
Welcome back, everybody. So we have a few minutes now for people to ask questions or bring up any comments about what you just experienced, and maybe somebody you met or some new idea that is at the tip of your tongue and you want to share. We can open it up for a few minutes to have people share. What did you learn? And who did you meet? Any new inspiration that's happened today for anyone? It's wide open. So maybe while we're being quiet, I could turn it over to my friend Richiro. I know he was interested in doing a reverse pitch about his organization. So do you want to do that? You up for that?
Thanks, Beth, for this
Sure, no
opportunity.
problem.
Yeah, so I think I misunderstood the concept. I think it was the pitch is meant for like introduction for the participants.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, thanks. So hi everyone. It's a really pleasure to meet you all. I'm Richiro Kimura. You can call me Richie. I know it's a Japanese name, it's kind of hard to pronounce. And I work for Global Brain, which is a Japan-based venture capital firm. And I'm based out of its New York office. And we basically, we are the Series A's and B's investors, so early stage investors. And then we invest into across all the sectors, but I particularly look at the, clean technology, circular economy, or like, climate technology area. So in primarily North America, as well as the Europe. And my background is chemical engineering / material science. So I used to work for BASF. It's a German-based chemical manufacturing company, and I worked on I worked there as a researcher, like developing carbon dioxide capture material, or as a strategic procurement agent. I managed some circular economy type of projects, like bio-based raw material sourcing, waste management across the factories in North America. So, and then I think I involved in Cleantech Open as a mentor. So yeah, I just signed up, and then hope I could I'll be able to meet some of you again in the cohort that is currently open for the next year. So yeah,
Yes,
thank you for
absolutely.
this opportunity.
And, absolutely, and thank you, Richie. I would like to also just say, if anybody wants to raise your hand if you're a mentor. We have a few in the we have a few here who are whom I see, and I don't know if okay. And I was going to say, good to see you, Sandy. I was wondering if Tim is still on. And Tim, if you would like to say anything about Cleantech Open, I can give you the stage for a few minutes.
I'm Tim Hoffman. I'm the New York City Metro Director, and I've been involved with the organization for going on 10 years. And during that period, I have seen the impact that the organization has had on startups, not just in New York that I've had the pleasure of working with, but all throughout the Northeast and even across the country. Made a tremendous difference in the development of and the business planning and other development of clean energy and clean tech startups, and been pleased to be a part of this organization and volunteer a lot of my time in doing so, but it's very well spent because of the impact that all of the volunteer mentors and other volunteers have on accelerating commercialization of promising technologies that can change the world. So I'll stop there. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Tim. And I'm going to put somebody else on the spot. So by the way, Tim, we couldn't do this without you. Thank you for all you do. It's awesome. I'm going to put somebody else on the spot here too, which is Hamdi. So Hamdi, if you would like to unmute and say a few things about AVX and the fact that we are now partnering this year, I think is worth mentioning.
Totally. Hello, everyone. My name's Hamdi, and I'm going to be changing my name with the URL for Academic Venture Exchange, or AVX. We are focused on trying to solve for deep technology startups coming from academic research, a talent valley of death, if you will. A lot of entrepreneurship and a lot of academic research are both templated off of role models and mentors. And usually to help successful scientists become great entrepreneurs, usually a lot of investors are like, have you had success in starting, growing, and exiting a startup before? And usually it's a shortcut by working with people who've done it before. So I specialize in trying to help early stage inventors try to find those sort of X factors that really help them grow. Work with a range of universities, lucky enough to have known Tim for a while, and I'm excited to be working with Beth in the Cleantech Open.
Thank you very much, Hamdi. So I think we have, if anybody has any questions, feel free to add them to the chat. And in the meantime, I think we could jump right into a couple of pitches. I have 2 names for pitches, and if I've missed somebody, please add your name to the chat. I have Richard Fennelly and James Pfeiffer. So I guess we'll just take it away, Richard. So when you are ready, feel free to unmute and share your story.
Thank you. We actually have an interest in the preventative maintenance of cooling equipment, refrigeration, air conditioning, specifically condenser coil cleaning. Cooling equipment needs a condenser coil to throw the heat extracted from the chamber they want to cool to the atmosphere. The coils usually lie in an enclosure and are open to the dirty air coming in, and they foul. What we have done is secured a US patent, a broad US patent. I put the link in the chat on the concept of using an air pre-cleaner on a new cover over the enclosure. The only way air can get in is to go through the pre-cleaner. It spins out the dust and debris, and we think that's going to retard the coil fouling rate. Air pre-cleaners are known in the motor vehicle industry for mining, agriculture. They're used before the carburetor to keep all the junk out before it hits the air filter. We're currently going to file for ARPA-E funding from DOE. We have an air pre-cleaner manufacturer on board. We have an HVAC-R testing company on board. They're writing the proposal.
Thank you, Richard.
And we're going to license it.
Awesome. Thank you. Great to see you again and to hear about what you're up to. Good luck with the grant opportunities. And next up, we have James Pfeiffer with Green Waste Energy out of Ridgewood, New Jersey. James, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. So thank you, Beth. So quite simply, what Green Waste Energy does is it uses pyrolysis to cook any kind of calorific waste and create a synthetic gas, and then clean that gas and use it in engines to make electricity. You theoretically learned about pyrolysis in high school. It's cooking something at a very high temperature in an oxygen-starved environment. There's no flame involved. So with the new emphasis on keeping organic matter out of a landfill or landfills, that's something that we can do very well. That's the short pitch. We actually have the technology. We are looking for sites specifically in the southern New York area.
Excellent. Great. Well, I'm very excited to hear about it. I don't think we've met before. So happy to have a follow-on chat and see if there's something that, if you have any specific questions about Cleantech Open or about your organization. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
So, absolutely. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. We can open it up for a couple more minutes. If anyone has any comments, questions, feel free to unmute and share any comments or questions that you may have.
Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Pfeiffer.
Go ahead.
And this is Joel Shortalk. Quite a few of these things come across my desk, the pyrolysis for waste energy. And most of them work fine on the pilot level, even the lab level. When they're commercialized, they tend to bomb out. So what is your unique technology that makes you different from just anybody else in the business?
Well, so Joel, we'll find out pretty doggone soon because we're building a plant to process wastewater treatment sludge up in the Schenectady area. It'll be theoretically commissioned second quarter. And with any kind of luck, it won't bomb out. It's going to process 125 tons a day of dewatered sludge, which actually means it's still 80% water. So we have to dry it. It comes down to processing 25 tons a day of dry sludge. It's going to be a nice project and stuff. Our focus is on doing larger projects, like on the order of 225 to 1,000 tons a day. But you have to start someplace, and this is up in Schenectady, which is why I mentioned earlier that, we'd love to have something in southern New York. And, the organics, there's problems with wood waste in Long Island, we know, and other things. So we're just trying to get somebody to give us some help and support on the initial 1 or 2 systems. And, you know, despite all that Beth mentioned NYSERDA a couple of times, we fall under the category of waste to energy, and NYSERDA doesn't like waste to energy, even though New York State is strongly suggesting to do other things with organic waste. So there's, you know, an issue there. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, you should talk to Kwaku because he's also in New Jersey and working with organic waste. So there may be some connections there.
Okay.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming. This is a very cool group. And I also want to make sure that everybody knows that we have a few more events coming up. Next week, we're hosting an event with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, which is a new sponsor of Cleantech Open. And that will be on Wednesday, March 31st at noon. So come, feel free to come and learn about how New Jersey is working in this space, and also how the New Jersey Economic Development Authority is making it easier for startups to participate in Cleantech Open and offering some other opportunities for cleantech startups as well from New Jersey. So with that, again, I want to thank the Circular City Week and for everybody for coming, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care all.
Thank you, Beth.